When the time comes for you to move out of your current home, you may wonder, should I sell or should I rent? While selling your home now creates cash now, hanging onto your home and renting it out can create lucrative cash flow and investment return down the road. This is Kiwi the Coast, your luxury real estate specialist, helping you sell and maximize the value of your coastal home. So let's dive in. So point number one, will it make you money? So why should you consider renting your home out? Well, for most people, the answer is simple: money. The majority of the real estate has been increasing in value in the US, so it's been a good hedge against inflation, rather than just keeping your money in the bank. And over the past year alone, we've seen nationally that real estate has increased over 5.5%. So historically, stable investment. So item number two, are you in fact ready to be a landlord? So when you decide to rent out your home and become a landlord, you have to consider all the factors and challenges that you take on when you don the hat of a landlord. First one is maintenance. When you're renting a home, those people expect for items that break to be fixed promptly, for replacements to be made. You as the landlord can have professional management to deal with that, or you might be the one that's going over there and tightening up that leaky sink. Most industry experts are saying set aside about 1% of the gross rents to cover maintenance for that particular rental property. Evictions, you've got to consider this. During COVID-19, there are all sorts of roadblocks to getting tenants evicted. So you have to understand all those tenant laws, especially in the times of this pandemic, when tenants either can't pay or elect not to pay. You've got to have the reserves to be able to weather that storm. You've also got to be able to screen the tenants properly, so the chances of tenants not being able to make payments is diminished. You've got to protect yourself as a landlord. So to add to that, even though you can call past landlords to help screen the tenants that are coming in, check the credit, check their finances, check their work history, so that you can make sure with some degree of certainty that tenant is going to be very viable, continue paying you the rent so you can pay the mortgage. What about the emotions? You've got to keep emotions out of the landlord-tenant mix, because this is a business proposition, and some landlords are just not cut out with the emotional ties that they can have with their tenants. So when tenants can't pay their rent, there's an emotional connection there, and it can be difficult, very hard on landlords having to evict people that have become their friends. So keep it business-like, don't get too close to those tenants, screen them properly, and you've got the best chance of a successful venture, landlord-tenant. Point number three is, are you making a profit, or do you have negative cash flow? You have to assess on a spreadsheet. You can have a professional do it for you, but you've got your rental income, but what are the expenses? There's mortgages, property taxes, utilities. Who does the garden? What about for replacements? What about maintenance? What about the cost of vacancy? All of those things need to be factored into that rental income model, so you can make an informed decision about whether this venture is profitable. It's no good having a whole bunch of negative cash flow. Maybe the home's still going up and that's an offset, but the ideal situation is be break even or better. Not only are you making money on the appreciation of the home, but you're also getting all your costs covered. And if your mortgage is paid, that includes interest and your principal payment. Even if your home is not going up in value, that tenant is essentially driving equity into your house, because you're paying the mortgage, interest and principal, so that loan balance is coming down and your equity is going up, even if the home is not appreciating. Get that? So on making a profit, crunch the numbers, do the market research on what your home will actually rent for, not what you hope it'll rent for. And in fact, in this marketplace right now, just like buyers, we're seeing multiple offers from tenants willing to pay over asking to be able to rent your home. So it's worth considering. Point number four, hey, what are your tax obligations when you're a landlord? Although it may not feel like it, when you become a landlord, you're actually becoming a small business owner. If you own rental real estate, you have to be aware of what the tax implications are from a federal and state level. In other words, you've got to report your rental income on your tax returns. Also, there's a whole slew of deductions. Here's a couple: mortgage interest, expenses on maintaining the property, maintenance, depreciation, just to name a few. I can't say this enough, consult your tax advisor, get all the information you need to make the tax situation work in your favor on your rental property. So what's the takeaway? What's the bottom line? There's obviously advantages and disadvantages in continuing to own a home and rent it out. You've got to know what all the benefits and also the challenges will be in owning that piece of real estate long term. And if you're unsure about what the current value of your home is, consult with someone like me so we can do a proper comparative market analysis, figure out what the true value of the home is today, so that you can better figure out, is selling, taking the cash now, or renting it long term and risking appreciation, but maybe even depreciation of the home over the long term with rental income, figuring out which of those two scenarios is going to be best for your needs today. Hey, I hope you found all that information valuable, and we'll see you on the next video. The room.